Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you are a Tennessee student athlete, parent, or coach, we're about to go through the ultimate playbook today. We're looking at the Tennessee High School Athletic Eligibility Standards. And trust me, you absolutely must master this rulebook before you even think about stepping onto the field, the court, or the track. It's literally the baseline for your entire season.
Because, well, you might think you're completely ready, right? You've got the gear, you've been grinding in practice, but as of right now, in June 2026, a single missed requirement could sideline you for the entire year. Eligibility is definitely not just a little checkbox you mark off as a freshman and forget about. It's a highly active, ongoing status. Make one quick assumption about it and boom, you're sitting on the bench for an ineligible season. And nobody wants that.
Okay, let's map out our game plan for today. We're going to cover 1. Who makes the rules? 2. The academic starting line. 3. Navigating transfer rules. 4. School classifications and competition. And finally, 5. Protecting your playing season.
All right, jumping right into section 1. Who makes the rules?
So, who exactly are the referees off the field? In Tennessee, the rules are primarily governed by the TSSA, that stands for the Tennessee Secondary School Athletic Association. They are the top authority regulating interscholastic athletics for member schools across the entire state, and their core mission is actually deeply tied to your education. Their whole setup is specifically designed to keep school sports strictly connected to academics, school membership, and totally fair competition. They're the ones classifying schools, setting the sport regulations, and strictly enforcing these eligibility standards for everyone.
And their reach is massive. Just look at this list of sanctioned sports. It covers everything from Friday night football and basketball, all the way to tennis, track and field, cross country, and golf. Basically, member schools have to join the TSSA for all the sanctioned sports they offer. So if you're playing an official school sport in Tennessee, the TSSA rules absolutely apply to you, no exceptions.
Let's move on to Section 2, the academic starting line.
Here is where we get down to the nitty-gritty. Just being enrolled at a school, simply walking through those front doors every morning, that does not equal athletic eligibility. You actually have to be making active, official progress in the classroom with school-recognized final grades to be cleared to play. Families really shouldn't ever fall into the trap of assuming that a great season in one sport automatically rolls your eligibility over to the next semester. Honestly, your academic standing is the very first thing officials are going to look at.
And keep in mind, this eligibility handbook is a living document. It's not some dusty old rulebook from the 90s. The TSIA actively monitors and updates these things. For instance, back in December 2025, they clarified a huge bylaw about when first semester ineligible students can actually regain their status. The ruling? It can happen no earlier than the final day of the first semester. And, this is the real kicker, only provided those final grades have been completely recognized and processed by the school's admin. So you've got to stay current with the rules as they exist today, right now, in the actively enforced 2025-2026 handbook.
Moving right along to Section 3, Navigating Transfer Rules. Now, transferring schools is probably one of the most complex areas of this whole playbook. If you do transfer, a relatively new provision added in March 2025 might allow you to play, but there are super strict conditions. It has to be your very first move, and it has to be for significant academic, social-emotional, environmental, or mental health needs. But here is the massive caveat, so listen closely. The sending school, the one you were leaving, has to explicitly confirm that this move is completely unrelated to athletics or discipline. If you're just transferring to snag more playing time on a stacked team, you're going to hit a serious brick wall with eligibility. And it gets even more specific depending on your background. Families handling international enrollment need to be hyper-aware of this strict residence rule. The TSAA updated their rules to flat out state that an international student who has already completed their secondary school requirements back in their country of origin is simply not athletically eligible in Tennessee.
All right, let's look at Section 4, School Classifications and Competition.
Understanding the rules also means understanding the actual playing field. The TSSAA classifies schools based on their grade 9 through 12 enrollment, and these alignments run on specific active cycles. General classifications are on a 2025 to 2029 cycle, while sport-by-sport alignments run on a tighter 2025 to 2027 cycle. Why does any of this matter to you? Well, it dictates your district and region placement, it completely shapes the level of competition you'll face, your schedule, and your entire path to the playoffs. So while classification doesn't replace those basic eligibility rules, it literally builds the environment where all those rules play out. Now, seeing just how much goes into this, you might be wondering, are these rules totally locked in once the school year kicks off? Like, after that first August kickoff, are we just set in stone until May? The answer is an emphatic yes. The rules absolutely can change. The TSSAA Legislative Council actually has the power to update bylaws smack in the middle of the school year, which is exactly why checking the current, up-to-date handbook and actually talking to your school's athletic director is so absolutely critical before making any assumptions about your clearance. Never just guess.
I think this quote really hits the nail on the head. It says, "High school sports in Tennessee are not governed like club sports. Eligibility rules are meant to discourage recruiting abuses, protect school integrity, and keep athletics tied to the educational mission." It perfectly grounds us in the why behind all this paperwork. High school sports are deeply, fundamentally tied to your education. They aren't run like independent club leagues. The whole system exists to ensure that student welfare and academic achievement always come before athletic glory.
Okay, bringing it home with Section 5, protecting your playing season.
The absolute smartest play you can make is to treat your eligibility as an ongoing process. Here is your 4-step defensive strategy. 1. Communicate early with your school administrators, especially if your living situation changes or you're even thinking about a transfer. 2. Ensure the adults are doing their jobs. Verify that your coaches have actually completed their mandatory TSSA rules meetings, because if they haven't, the school faces fines and postseason bans. 3. Keep meticulous, rock-solid documentation for any move, academic support plan, or residency issue. And 4. Always check the exact language of the current TSSA handbook. These rules are super nuanced, and guessing is just the fastest route to an ineligible season. So after running through all of this, I've got to ask, is your season truly protected? Are you absolutely certain that some minor technicality won't bench your athletic dreams this year? The rules are written, the standards are crystal clear, but the responsibility to check those boxes, that ultimately falls on you. Do not let a simple paperwork error cost you a championship run. Make sure you dig into your school's rulebook today.